Hello YouTube, Gaming Goddess here with the review on Silent Hill 2. This is a survival horror game published by Konami for the PlayStation 2. Now, this game was released September 2001 and is the second installment to the Silent Hill series. But just because it has Silent Hill in the title, it does not make it a direct sequel to the first Silent Hill game. So as far as what game should I play first, it doesn't really matter. This game strictly focuses on our main character, James Sunderland. With that being said, I heard this was supposed to be one of the scarier games for its time, so let's get into the review. So this game is a survival horror game where the player guides James through the monster-infested town of Silent Hill. This game is played in a third-person point of view with various camera angles. If the player chooses to use the default controls, James will move in the direction he is facing. As you can see here, I kinda had a hard time figuring that out, and to be honest, I really did not like the camera angles or the movement. Aside from the difficulties I had with the movement, the overall gameplay was pretty decent. The game doesn't spend a lot of time focusing on killing the enemies, since most are pretty easy to run away from, but it does focus on exploration, survival, as well as some puzzles and riddles. The difficulty of the enemy and the puzzles are determined by the player before the game starts. In other words, each puzzle is different based on the level of difficulty, so no two playthroughs will fully be the same. James will often look in the direction of an item or enemy. For people who like to explore every inch of the games they play, they will probably find this helpful. It is not necessary to look at every little thing, but you never want to forget a key or an item that may help you progress through the story. So let's get one thing straight here. I know I had said previously that enemies can easily be avoided. Well, yes, this is true, but there actually are some enemies that cannot be avoided because they are story-based, such as the boss battles. In this game, we don't really have too many since it's fairly short, but luckily for us, we're given weapons, so you could pretty much use anything you want to kill the bosses with. I just wouldn't recommend using the wooden stick or the metal pipe. So moving on to the graphics, I would first like to point out that there is a lot of fog and a lot of dark places in this game. So for the sake of doing this review, I had to turn the game's brightness all the way up. This game does have a recommended brightness level, so at least try to enjoy the game the way it's supposed to be played. I personally didn't run into any graphical errors or any glitches. Overall, the game's graphics really aren't that bad for its time. Now, this game does have an HD version for the PlayStation 3, and it does look a lot cleaner, but personally, I like the old PS2 style graphics because it gives the game a more of a nostalgic feel to it, as well as the creepy look that the game is supposed to have. The little bit of music and, of course, all of the creepy background noises sound great in my opinion. But the whole game's voice acting is just ridiculous. Yes, this game did come out in 2001, but in all honesty, the way the voices were done just didn't do it for me. Whenever James opened his mouth, I would get so frustrated at how dull his voice sounded. It was almost like there was no emotion put into it. There are a lot of other games out there that were made around the same year with a lot better voice acting than this. Now let's take a look at the pros and cons. First, some pros for me would include a good atmosphere that the game sets up, scary noises that can be heard throughout the game, level of difficulty can be selected for both enemies and puzzles, multiple endings, it's fairly a short game, I only put about 12 hours through it, and it has a decent story for its time. As for the cons, it has horrible voice acting, not much character development, and it wasn't as scary as I expected it to be. Overall, Silent Hill 2 isn't too bad of a game. I might not have gotten scared like I wanted to, but it's still pretty creepy for its time. Honestly, if I had played this game 14 years ago, then yes, I could literally see myself having nightmares because of the atmosphere and the creepy noises. I do feel like there could have been a lot more effort put into the voice acting to at least make the story flow a little bit better. But as for the general gameplay, it was decent in my opinion. Like I had said before, the only thing that really bothered me was the movement and the camera angles. So, would I recommend this game based on my experience alone? Yeah, sure, go play it if you haven't already. It's a classic, and all classic games should be given a chance. Just remember that this game is rated M for mature, and at the time it was rated, that was because of the blood, the violence, and the gore. With that being said, my overall rating for Silent Hill 2 is a 7 out of 10. Yes, it was good, but it wasn't the greatest horror game I've played. And again, the voice acting just doesn't help. If you like this video, feel free to press the like button. Also, leave me a comment with your opinion. I love reading what everyone has to say. This has been a Gaming Goddess review. And remember to keep on gaming.
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm here for you, James. See? I'm real.